There are few things that can pose a danger to a child's future like being sexually assaulted by a pedophile, and that's why law enforcement and psychologists have been doing everything possible to stop them from getting near kids. The biggest problem is that scientists have discovered that pedophilia may actually be a mental anomaly that comes with a brain malformation, which means that it's not a choice for them to be attracted to children. One company came up with a solution that could keep them from offending, but it may not be exactly what most people would have planned. Should these sex dolls be banned? Tell us your thoughts in the comments below. Note, not all dolls posted here are associated with this industry. Pedophilia is considered to be the most taboo issue in the world. For obvious reasons, those who are known pedophiles live with a huge stigma attached to them. Many of them struggle with pedophilic impulses but don't act on them, and they have been the subject of much media attention, scientific attention, and psychiatric attention as well. There is no known cure for having pedophilia. Reprogramming therapy has never been successful. But, treatments like cognitive behavioral therapy and chemical castration have been used with varying degrees of success. But, a study from the Mayo Clinic concluded that it doesn't change the pedophile's sexual orientation. To make matters worse, among those who have actually molested kids, the chances of them doing it again can be high. Recidivism rates of known pedophiles can range from 10% to 50% depending on the kind of offense. Moreover, there's little evidence to say that the real rates of reoffense aren't higher. Shin Takagi, a known pedophile, has known this for years. So, he came up with a new way to potentially curb child molestation throughout the world. He founded a company by the name of trustworthy, and what they do is considered to be extremely controversial, to say the least. In fact, there's even a controversy over whether or not the dolls would help pedophiles avoid their urges. Trustworthy is a company that makes lifelike sex dolls modeled after children as young as 5. As of right now, the anatomically correct child sex dolls are primarily female, and have been shipped to clients around the world. The idea behind it, according to Takagi, is that it will give pedophiles a way to express their desires, legally and ethically. So far, there's not very much evidence that the dolls work at their intended goal of preventing child molestation by pedophiles. Peter Fagan from the Johns Hopkins School of Medicine is skeptical of any research ever being conducted on the subject at all. Fagan did note that by looking at cognitive behavioral theory, the products may actually have a reinforcing effect on pedophiles. In other words, Fagan believes that it may actually increase the chances of pedophiles acting their fantasies out. More disturbingly, the paraphilia researcher suggested that the sex dolls may even cause it to be acted upon with greater urgency. However, his research is on people who are currently offenders, and that means that there's no information available for non-offenders. Meanwhile, Michael Cito from the University of Toronto suggested that there may be two different populations of pedophiles. He argued that, for some pedophiles, access to artificial illicit videos or to child sex dolls could be a safer outlet for their sexual urges, reducing the likelihood that they would seek out actual videos of children or sex with real children. Meanwhile, other pedophiles may not be able to contain themselves regardless of what artificial means they have. Klaus Beer, who works with a pedophile prevention network, worked on figuring out what makes some pedophiles offend while others don't. What they found was that pedophilia is a condition that deals with the brain's physiology. He noted that they found stronger connectivity in brain regions related to impulse control in pedophiles who have not offended compared with those who have. In other words, it could be a physical difference. Beer also wants to explain to people that being a pedophile does not necessarily mean that they are a danger to children. What it all boils down to is whether or not they actually hurt kids. And, it's clear that Cito and Beer both believe this to be the case. Takagi, however, is 100% convinced that his products help save children. He said that the letters that he receives are what proof of what they do. He said, "The letters say, thanks to your dolls, I can keep from committing a crime." I hear statements like that from doctors, prep school teachers, even celebrities. Takagi noted that most of the people who buy his dolls are men living alone, and that many of the men start to get very attached to their dolls. He explained that female clients buy them to remind them of their past, while men start to view dolls as wives. Some also added that they see the dolls as daughters. The dolls also have different expressions, often made to order. Some smile. Some cry. Others just look sad or mildly peaceful. Every doll is a little bit different, and often is made to reflect the way that the pedophile wants their ideal sex partner to look like. The dolls themselves are often treated with a sort of reverence, particularly in Japan. In the Shinto religion, everything has a soul, even dolls. Takagi said that one client actually had called him to dispose of the doll in a traditional way. He said, "It's like a ceremony for a dead person. Since dolls have a human form, they must be treated as such." Disturbing as it may be, Takagi suggests that these dolls might be what keeps some sex offenders from offending altogether. But, what if they do encourage some? Politicians have suggested banning them because of that risk, and as of 2013, they are banned in the United States. What do you think about these child sex dolls? Should we allow them in the US?